Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel, I analyze the astrological charts of public figures, and very often they are celebrities. That certainly will be the case today, as I'll be looking at the chart of the Ms. Blake Lively. I have done a synastry chart with her and Ryan. You can go check that out. But a lot of you said you want me to have a look at her chart by itself on its own, so we can just get a full picture of who Blake Lively is. Like, is she a biatch? Is she really this evil, cruel, narcissistic person that is just mean to interviewers? Like, who is she? So, yeah, I wanted to just understand her. What's her brain chemistry? Like, what's going on here? What is she motivated by? Before I do that, I just want you guys to know I have my members. Club on YouTube. It's a good way to support me. And then I also do MP3 readings. I do 15-minute full chart and transit readings, and I also do 5-minute focused questions. So everything is linked below. It helps me out so I can stay in business, basically. So thank you so much to all of you that do support me. I really appreciate it. Without you, I go back into teaching, which, after that retrograde, I was considering doing because, sometimes, as a Scorpio rising, sometimes you just want to throw things away and, like, cut and run. You're like, bye. I have considered it. So if you want me to stay, that's the best way to get me to stay is just to keep me in business. And also click, like, comment, let's just keep this algorithm going. Let's build this channel. It helps me a lot. When you guys have faith in me, I have faith in myself. My 11th house moon is a little bit needy and insecure. So please help me with that. Okay, so let's have a look at Blake's chart. I am thinking of doing for the members. I want to do like a little Mercury retrograde review, talking about the Virgo placements and the Leo placements, and I'm going to apply it to Blake Lively and my personal life as well, because the most beloved Virgos in my life fucked around and fucking found the fuck out, didn't you? You found the fuck out. I'm waiting for my apology. If you don't want to give it to me, then kindly fuck off. Anyway, much love. So that will be put in members, and today I'm just gonna talk about Blake Lively, her chart, and then go a little bit into the transit that kind of destroyed her reputation over the last few weeks. All right, Blake Lively is a Leo rising. She gorgeous. She got that Marilyn Monroe old movie star kind of thing. I think Leo rising is the best rising sign. I think they got a shit descendant, but the rising sign, it's giving, it's iconic. It's like Marilyn Monroe is like my favorite person who has ever lived. So the Leo risings, I'm a big fan. I love you guys. When you walk into the room, you are the sun. And I am just, with my Scorpio rising, I'm just Pluto circling around you, baby. Like, gorgeous. And then she's got this cluster of planets. They are all in Virgo. Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, and the Moon all together in Virgo. And because she's got her second house cusp in Virgo, I'm going to read this as a second house stellium. Okay, I know some of it's in her first. I know that, which we can interpret it as being kind of self-centered and very self-motivated, which doesn't mean you're a bad person if you're a first houser. It's fine. It's okay. So a lot of your energy is directed towards yourself and your ambitions and your image and that's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you're ambitious. It's fine. It's fine. And then if it plays into the second house, it's still very self-motivated. It's very motivated by money, aesthetics. They want abundance, and they love beauty, and they can be a little bit hedonistic. So yeah, we're going to be focusing a lot on that first and second house today. And then, yeah, she's got this Pluto on the IC. And Jupiter opposition. Dad. Saturn square the moon. Let's talk about that. She's got some squares with some malefics. Okay, here goes. I'm about to say a lot. I'm going to say a lot about Blake Lively, and I really like Blake Lively. I do like her. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Virgos. I adore Virgos. You know what the problem is with Virgos though? Because my midheaven is Virgo. When I look at a Virgo, I look up because it's the highest point of the sky in my chart. Whenever I look up at a Virgo, I know that they're looking down on me. And that's what hurts. So it's time. It's time to deliver some karma. So Blake has gotten away with a lot. And she is very I think it's because she is gorgeous. Like I said, she is the sun walking into the room and everyone is just like in her orbit, moving around her. She's always been in a situation where she had control. People were pleasing her and appeasing her. Because she's a very because she's so gorgeous, that plays into her charisma. I don't really think she is the most witty person. I certainly saw footage of her on a panel, a Gossip Girl panel or something, and she said that her co-stars were monkeys and was trying to make a cute little joke, but it was a mean, cute little joke. It was just, it didn't go down well. But because she's so gorgeous, she doesn't really have to pay for really anything that she said for a very long time. She's never really had to deal with that. Beautiful people like her don't really have to. She also has, if you look at this chart, a diamond. You know, diamonds like this, it's like she has multiple grand trines, Earth grand trine. I know her Jupiter is in Aries. I know that. It's in Aries. It's a late degree. But it does form a grand trine with all of these planets in early degree of Virgo and late degrees in Sagittarius, early degree in Capricorn for that Neptune. So basically she's lucky and she's abundant and she was born into wealth. She will acquire wealth. She's good at making money. I think she's got the gift to be a businesswoman. She has that, even if she has business ventures that fail, I think eventually she will find her groove. She's got that. And she's beautiful. A lot of gifts. Where she has difficulty, because she is rather blessed, is here. Saturn at 14 degrees squares the moon. It also does square that. I'm going to count that Mercury as a square as well. Yeah, so Saturn is squaring off with her moon. So, I have that, so I'm calling myself out here. Emotional immaturity. And that comes from difficulty in the home. I mean, Saturn is the father, it's the patriarch, it is rules and regulations, and that clashes with the moon, which is your internal processing, your feelings, the mother in the home. So there's a clash between the mother and the father. Now, from what I understand, her parents stayed together. Her father's passed now because I looked him up. Her father has passed now, but based on what I'm looking at here, there was trouble in paradise. There was trouble in the home. Even though there's a lot of abundance, I do think that there were situations in the home, some dysfunction in the home that has led Blake into developing into kind of an emotionally immature person, which can be remedied over time. Obviously, becoming a mother is going to help her grow in that area. But yeah, she seems a bit emotionally immature. Pluto in the fourth house. I mean, it's really well aspected overall because it's at the apex of this. Did I call it a diamond? It's a kite. My apologies. It's a kite. Diamond kite, sorry. It's a kite. It's the shape of a kite. The Pluto is at is on the apex of this kite on that IC. So where she experiences the most transformation in her life is around family and the home. Indeed, she's had 4 children. She's popped out a lot of kids. She's been pregnant for the last decade and now she's done. So this is her, she's just recently had a boy, hasn't she? She just recently gave birth to a boy last year. So this is her getting her career back. She wants to be a big time movie star after taking a long hiatus. That Pluto in the 4th house really did work for her. And, you know, having a family is also going to contribute to her wealth because she's like joining her kingdom with another very powerful emperor-like person. And she actually did marry a Scorpio, which is Ryan. So they are very abundant together. So she's had a very peachy keen life. It's just that she's emotionally mature and she's been getting away with it for a very long time. Now, this Mercury retrograde, that happened over her first and second house. So it impacted her image, the way she presents herself to the world, because the first house, Leo, and then impacted her second house of money. Now, because her Venus, which is her midheaven ruler, her midheaven is in Taurus, it also hurt her reputation. If she was into astrology properly, like she probably shouldn't have behaved the way she behaved, but she also maybe shouldn't have released this film when she released it. It would have been better had she released it after the retrograde or before the retrograde. This was just not a good time. And it's also not a good time to be, not getting along with the director and your co-star. He's faring a lot better with this. He's a much more sympathetic character in this story. I do feel like, based because I looked at their synastry, and I will do their synastry. I think both of them contributed to it, but she is a control freak. She's a Virgo stellium in the second house. The thing with her is that I think she cares more about style over substance. I don't think she would ever process it that way. I think she is a perfectionist. She wants things to be clean and to be wholesome and to look good and to, like this film that she put out, which is a very serious film with very serious themes. She turned it into something that was very Taurus, very flowery, very superficial, when it was more Scorpio. It was something that, she fumbled it. She fumbled that Mercury retrograde. And people look at her differently now. This chart, by the way, I took this screenshot of this chart like a few weeks ago. I know that I'm putting it out now, and these transits are not the same. Obviously, it's a Virgo season now. But this was at the peak of her being hated online. So that's when I took this shot. She shut up. I think she did really well in that she just didn't speak. She still hasn't spoken. It would be really nice if she could address this later on, but her pride might be too much. I mean, the ruler of her chart, the sun, it is in the first house and plays into the second house. I don't think she's ever going to admit that she might have been wrong in some aspect of this feud. I think she's got a lot of pride. It's so funny because whatever she was doing, she was trying to make herself look good, but in doing so, she made herself look really bad. She was, yeah. I do think she's a creative. She has Saturn in the 5th house. Oh God, her dating life was so complicated. People with Saturn in the 5th house, they date, and then they've got a lot of it's very dating is difficult. They do it often, and then it blows up in their face. So I'm wondering if I'm just looking back. I'm thinking about Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm thinking about the alleged affair she had with Ben Affleck. I'm really thinking about that. If she's got a really dirty dating life, and and I think wasn't she the other woman in the Ryan Scarlett breakup? She was the other woman. Anyway, I'm not surprised with that. By the way, I'm not saying if you've got Saturn in the 5th house that you're the other woman, okay? I'm just saying you've got a lot of difficulty around dating, a lot of karma. It's a bit stressful. Dating can be stressful with that placement. It can also indicate perfectionism around artistic endeavors. So very often Saturn in the 5th house people are really good at playing piano, or they might really like to edit films, like really kind of neurotic artistic endeavors do really well with these people. And I did hear that she was very particular about the editing of this film that she's put out. So, with Blake, I think that she's someone that has blinders on a little bit. I think her she doesn't have the same peripheral vision the rest of us do. I think she's just a little bit, she's got blinders on, like, and it's because of the privilege. So the environment she grew up in, she's just not like the rest of us, mere mortals. She's the center of the universe. She is the sun, and she doesn't know any other way to be. And I do think she is a sensitive person. I do think she is caring, and I think she's empathetic to, within her environment, her very privileged environment. I think she is very capable of empathy and being a good friend and being of service and helping people and I do believe she is a crown fixer, truly, within her small little privileged world. And that's all she will ever know. She will never know poverty. She'll never know what it is to not be able to pay a bill or to be hungry or, and it doesn't make her a bad person. It makes her a very lucky person and affords her the privilege of she never really has to pay for anything except with her reputation. We'll see how well her movie star career does. I think she would do better to run businesses and be a fashion icon and get involved in the arts. I do think with a Taurus midheaven, she's not really. She's a decent actress. Like my favorite film of hers is it The Shallows or In the Shallows, and she's like swimming away from a shark and she gets attacked. It's a brilliant film. It's really, really good. And of course, she was in Gossip Girl, and I think she's a decent actress. I just feel like with her Taurus midheaven and Venus, the Taurus, that midheaven ruler, being in Virgo, playing into the second, I think she would be better having a permanent position as, someone in, like a permanent position as like a Met Gala advisor or something like that. If she could get involved in the arts, I think she would do much better. If she could work for Vogue, if she could do things where she could talk about art and style, that would suit her a lot more than being an actress. But she's a Leo rising and she really wants to be seen. And because she's got this stellium in Virgo all meshed together playing into the second house, she wants to align all her projects, right? She wants to have that shampoo line that feeds into promotion for the movie, that feeds into the promotion of her alcohol products or whatever. Like it's a bit second house Taurus. It all works for her. She was being greedy. And that's what I said earlier, is that when you have lots of second house placements, specifically in an earth sign placements in an earth house, you can be greedy, you can be hedonistic. And while she's not necessarily a big, she's not eating everything, and she's hedonistic in terms of she wears a lot of Louis Vuittons. Is that what you call them? Louis Vuittons? I don't know how to say it. She loves clothes. She loves, she's a hedonist. She's glamorous. And that works for her. But during this Mercury retrograde, just being ultra money hungry and greedy. And she was actually a little bit absent-minded during this press junket. Like, it was just not a good look. Yeah. She needs to be friends with people that even her out a bit. I think Taylor Swift is really good for her. Taylor Swift has placements in her 6th and 7th house, because Taylor's got a Venus and Aquarius in that 7th house. And Taylor has some Capricorn placements as well. She's Sagittarius. So I think being friends with, I feel like Taylor Swift would be someone that could, even though Taylor Swift is also a tall, blonde, gorgeous woman that lives in a little privileged bubble, they're very similar in that way. But I feel like Taylor's slightly more of an intellectual, right? Blake's better at the aesthetics. Taylor's better at being an intellectual. So I feel like that's actually quite a healthy friendship. Let me know if you'd like me to do a synastry between Blake and Taylor. I just thought of that right now. That'd be really cute. With Blake, the thing with, she's incredibly critical. Virgo moons can be mean even when they don't mean to be mean. You can't help. And I don't think, if you're a Virgo moon, I don't think that you're intentional in being mean. It's just a placement that's very dry. They're people that can help you out. They'll give you the shirt off their back. They're fixer uppers. They can fix people. They love to fix people and help people. But they're also people that can be really disgusted. And I find that with Virgo placements, if you're too kind to them, Virgo Venuses, Virgo Moons, Virgo Suns, when you lavish them with warmth and affection, they feel suffocated, like get away from me, and they can feel like, they think that you're pathetic and gross and disgusting and like some slobbery, disgusting Labrador. Like, get the fuck out of my house. Ew. And if you look at her relationship with Ryan, he publicly talks shit about her and with affection. Blake, you were the best thing that has ever happened to me, next to getting this Hollywood Walk of Fame award. What the fuck? And then I remember Ryan also saying, when my daughter was born, I never felt love like that before. And I felt like I'd never loved my wife anymore at that moment until I held that baby. And then I realized I would use Blake's body as a human shield to protect that child. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, it's some Virgo Scorpio mess right there. Virgo Venuses, it's not the best Venus. Like, I don't mind a Virgo Venus. I enjoy it. I'm an Earth Venus myself. I appreciate a Virgo Venus for their service, but they can be incredibly particular. And they can be very judgy and grossed out, and they have like a list of qualities that they need in someone. They want someone who's handsome or someone that has money and someone that, they have like this list, right? They've got a list, and they should have a list, but then they end up with the worst human beings. They check off the list, and the one thing that they forget is, oh, he respects me, or, he's a warm person, or, like they'll forget like the things that truly matter because they're looking for someone that ticks off a list, and then they end up in these toxic relationships. I'm going to get into that in my members, and I'll talk about Virgos a little bit more because I've been dealing with a Virgo who I love very much, but fucked me off. So, yeah. She's going to be fine. I just think that, yeah, she needs to, either she's going to ignore it and just move on, and the news cycle will find something new, someone else to pick on. But it would be nice if she could apologize. It would be nice. Oh, Blake. I wonder what Leighton Meester has to say. I wonder what she thinks of this. It's really interesting. I was looking at Leighton Meester's chart. Leighton Meester's a real one. Leighton Meester is a sun and moon in Aries with a Venus in, I think, Venus in Taurus. Like, she's got some cute placements. And then Blake is a sun and moon in Virgo. I'm like, oh, I get why I don't get why they didn't get along. Yeah. Oh, by the way, before I finish, I just realized Blake has Chiron in the 11th, which is, that's the Meghan Markle placement where you might have a bit of a wounded reputation. Blake does really well when she's focusing on charities, like her speech about kitty fiddlers and how disgusting kitty fiddlers. There's a speech she made like a few years ago when she was pregnant in the late 2010s, and I think she does work or promotion, or she works with an organization that protects children from exploitation, and she talked about kitty fiddlers, and it was such a beautiful speech. And I was like, that's where Blake Lively shines. If she can, be this fashion icon, but also work in more like in the humanitarian field as like a calling, like a vocation, not a business, that's where her reputation can recover. If she can just do things like that, use her privilege to draw attention to real issues. That's what she should be doing, not making movies about DV and then promoting it as a rom-com about a flower shop. Like, she should have actually talked about that. She would have been really good talking about those serious issues because she's done it before. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Yeah, so go into the members if you'd like me to talk about the Mercury retrograde a little bit more and how it impacted Virgo and Leo placements. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.